I found the contract hidden in my wife's jewelry box. $50,000 for healthy Caucasian newborn. Gender preference, male. Delivery expected June 2025. My hands shook as I read our unborn son's description like a product listing. Jennifer had been telling me she wanted to put him up for adoption because we weren't ready. What she didn't tell me was that she'd already sold him to the highest bidder through a black market adoption ring. 8 months pregnant, and she'd turned our child into a transaction. What Jennifer didn't know was that I'd been recording every conversation since she first mentioned adoption. Every meeting with her counselor, every late-night phone call about arrangements. Our son wasn't even born yet, and I was already fighting for his life. Welcome to the channel where betrayal meets justice. If you're ready for a story of greed, maternal betrayal, and a father's fight, hit subscribe. Let me tell you how I saved my son from being sold and sent his mother to federal prison. My name is Bradley Harrison, 34 years old, high school teacher. In Sacramento, I married Jennifer in 2020 after 3 years of dating. She was everything I wanted, smart, beautiful, seemed to share my dream of a big family. We started trying for kids immediately. That's when our real story began. 2 years of trying naturally. Nothing. Tests revealed I had low sperm count. She had endometriosis. Treatable, but expensive. IVF was our only real chance. $25,000 per cycle in 2022. Not covered by my teacher's insurance. We drained our savings, borrowed from family, maxed out credit cards. First cycle failed. Second cycle failed. By the third, we were financially and emotionally broken. Then, miracle. Third cycle worked. October 2024, Jennifer was pregnant. I cried in the doctor's office, didn't care who saw. After 3 years of injections, procedures, heartbreak, we were finally going to be parents. The debt didn't matter. The exhaustion didn't matter. Our son was worth everything. For the first few months, Jennifer glowed. Baby books everywhere, nursery plans, name discussions. We settled on James after my grandfather. She'd rub her belly, talk to him, play him music. I'd come home to find her reading him stories. This was the family we'd bankrupted ourselves to create. Everything changed in February 2025, her 5th month. Jennifer became distant, anxious. The debt is crushing us, she'd say. True, we owed $75,000 between IVF loans and credit cards. My teacher salary barely covered minimums. But we'd known this going in. We'll figure it out, I promised. People raise kids on less. She started mentioning adoption, casually at first. There are so many families who could give him more. I shut it down immediately. We didn't go through 3 years of hell to give him away. She'd nod, change the subject, but the comments continued. Articles left open on her laptop about adoption benefits. Brochures from agencies appearing on our coffee table. March 2025, she became insistent. Bradley, be realistic. We're drowning. In debt. How can we raise a child when we can't even pay our bills? The arguments escalated. I offered solutions, second jobs, moving in with parents, bankruptcy if necessary. She had counter-arguments for everything. You want to raise our son in poverty? In my parents' basement? The counselor appeared in April. A friend recommended someone who helps couples in our situation, Jennifer said. Mrs. Patricia Winters. Adoption counselor. Professional website, glowing testimonials, office in an upscale neighborhood. I agreed to one meeting, hoping it would show Jennifer I was listening. Patricia Winters was everything you'd expect. Soft-spoken, sympathetic, armed with statistics about adoption success stories. You're giving your child the gift of opportunity, she said. Financial stability, 2-parent homes desperate for children, the best schools. She painted pictures of our son's potential future, Ivy League education, travel, advantages we couldn't provide. But something felt off. She was too pushy, too interested in our specific situation. When I mentioned being a teacher, she lit up. Educated parents, professional background, very desirable. Desirable? Like we were breeding dogs? When she offered us $5,000 for pregnancy expenses, I knew something was wrong. Legal adoptions don't pay birth parents beyond actual medical costs. I started recording our second meeting. Just voice memos on my phone, hidden in my pocket. Jennifer didn't know. Patricia talked about premium placements for healthy white babies, about families willing to provide additional support for the right match. The language was careful, but the meaning was clear. This wasn't adoption. It was baby selling. After that meeting, I did research. Patricia Winters had no adoption license in California. Her agency wasn't registered with any oversight body. The address was a virtual office. The testimonials were stock photos. My pregnant wife was meeting with a baby broker, and she either didn't know or didn't care. I played along while gathering evidence. Agreed to more meetings. Acted defeated about our finances. Jennifer relaxed, thinking I'd accepted the inevitable. She became careless. Left her phone unlocked, took calls in the next room instead of leaving the house, started a pregnancy journal. That was really a log for the buyers. May 15th, 2025. Jennifer was at her prenatal appointment. I was supposedly at work, but called in sick. Searched our house methodically. Found her hidden laptop in the closet. Password was our anniversary. Her secret email account revealed everything. Months of correspondence with Patricia, but not about adoption. About sale price, buyer specifications, delivery arrangements. Then I found it. In her jewelry box, under her grandmother's pearls. Contract dated April 30th, 2025. $50,000 for healthy Caucasian newborn. Gender preference. Male. Delivery expected. June 2025. Signed by Jennifer and a couple from Connecticut. Our son, 6 weeks from birth, had been sold like a car. The emails showed negotiation history. Jennifer had started at $30,000, pushed to $40,000 when ultrasounds showed perfect development. Got $50,000 by promising no contact post-birth and claiming the father, me, was a Stanford graduate. She'd lied about my education to increase our son's market value. I installed recording apps on every device. Hidden cameras in our living room, bedroom, kitchen. Legal in California if you're a resident recording in your own home. Started backing up everything to cloud storage only I could access. The evidence accumulated fast. Jennifer met with Patricia. Twice a week now. They discussed logistics like shipping merchandise. The buyers want to be present for delivery, Patricia said in one recording. They'll take him straight from the hospital. You'll sign papers saying you're overwhelmed, can't care for him. Bradley will be at work. Won't even know until it's done. Another recording. Jennifer on the phone with the buyers. Yes, he's very active. Kicks all the time. Perfect measurements at every scan. Then, my husband won't be a problem. He thinks this is a normal adoption. By the time he realizes, you'll be back in Connecticut with the baby. My own wife, plotting to steal our son while I was teaching sophomore English. The worst recording came May 20th. Jennifer thought I was asleep. She was video chatting with someone, camera pointed at her belly. Here's your son, she said, lifting her shirt. Just 2 more weeks until he's yours. She'd already given him away in her mind. He was just cargo waiting for delivery. I couldn't go to local police, too risky, might tip off Jennifer. Instead, I contacted the FBI. Interstate baby selling is federal crime. Agent Sarah Mills met me at a coffee shop, reviewed my evidence. Her expression went from skeptical to horrified as she listened to the recordings. "This is bigger than one couple," she said. "Patricia Winters is connected to a network we've been tracking. Dozens of babies sold to wealthy families who can't pass legal adoption screening. You've given us the inside track we needed." She explained their plan. Let the sale proceed far enough to catch everyone, but intervene before our son could be taken. Agent Mills became my handler, taught me how to properly record, what questions to ask, how to act normal while my world exploded. The hardest part was sleeping next to Jennifer, feeling our son kick, knowing she'd sold him. I'd put my hand on her belly and whisper, "Daddy's here. Daddy's protecting you." She thought I was being sweet. I was making promises. The FBI discovered Jennifer had done this before. Our miscarriage in 2023? Hospital records showed full-term delivery. She'd sold that baby too, told me it was stillborn. I'd grieved for 2 years over a child who was alive somewhere, calling someone else daddy. The betrayal went deeper than I'd imagined. Late May 2025, Jennifer went into preparation mode. Hospital bag packed with 2 sets of clothes, one for photos to show me, another for the buyers. She'd written a birth plan that excluded me from delivery. "Bradley gets too emotional," she told her doctor. "I need him calm for afterward." The doctor, unaware of the plot, agreed to her wishes. I kept teaching, kept recording, kept pretending. My students noticed I was distracted. How could I focus on Shakespeare when my wife was trafficking our child? Agent Mills checked in daily. They were building cases against 17 people in 5 states. Our son would be the evidence that brought them all down. June 1st, Jennifer announced she was having contractions. False alarm, but revealing. She immediately texted Patricia, starting, "We'll keep you updated." Not me, her husband, not her mother. The baby broker got first notification. I screenshot everything, forwarded to Agent Mills. The net was tightening. June 5th. Jennifer created her cover story. "Bradley, I've been thinking. Maybe we should reconsider adoption. Just talk to some families." I agreed, playing devastated, but accepting. She showed me profiles Patricia had provided, all fake, all FBI agents. We were supposed to meet them after delivery. Jennifer didn't know she'd be in handcuffs by then. Chapter 8. Delivery day, June 12th, 2025. 3 a.m. Real contractions started. Jennifer woke me, calm and focused. It's time. At the hospital, she executed her plan. Told nurses I was too nervous. Needed to stay in the waiting room. "First time father jitters," she laughed. They believed her. I sat outside while she labored, texting Agent Mills updates that the buyers arrived at 8 a.m. Well-dressed couple in their 50s, looking like grandparents visiting. They had visitor passes Patricia had arranged. Checked into a hotel across the street, waiting for their merchandise. I watched them from the window. These people who thought they could buy my son. 10:47 a.m. Our son was born. 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Perfect. The nurse found me in the waiting room. "Congratulations, Dad. Want to meet your son?" Jennifer couldn't exclude me from this moment without raising suspicions. I held him for the first time. My James, the child we'd spent $75,000 and 3 years creating. He grabbed my finger, and I whispered, "I've got you. Daddy's got you." Jennifer played the exhausted mother perfectly. Let me take photos, hold him, even suggested his name, which we'd already chosen. All while knowing Patricia was downstairs with paperwork. The buyers were packing their car with a baby seat. The transaction was hours away from completion. 2 p.m., June 12th. Jennifer asked me to go home, get her comfortable clothes. "Take your time," she said. Rest a little. Long night ahead. I knew what she meant. I was supposed to be gone when they took James. I kissed them both goodbye, walked to the parking garage where Agent Mills was waiting in a van full of surveillance equipment. We watched everything. Patricia arrived at 2:30 with documents. Jennifer signed papers claiming postpartum depression, inability to care for the child, requesting immediate placement. The buyers entered at 3 p.m. with a car seat and diaper bag. They were cooing over. My son, when the FBI moved in, the arrest was coordinated across 3 locations. Our hospital room, the buyer's hotel, Patricia's real office in Los Angeles. 17 simultaneous arrests across the network. I walked back into the room as they were cuffing Jennifer. She was screaming about adoption being legal, about me betraying her. Then she saw the FBI jackets and understood. Bradley? Her voice was small, confused. You knew? I held our son, who'd almost been merchandise. I knew everything. The contract. The $50,000. Our first baby you sold. Everything. She started crying, begging, claiming postpartum depression. But the recordings were clear. She'd been planning this for months, completely lucid. The case made national news. Teacher exposes baby selling ring, saves infant son. Jennifer was charged with trafficking, fraud, conspiracy. The buyers faced federal charges for attempting to purchase a child. Patricia Winters, real name Patricia Kowalski, got 25 years as the ringleader. The network had sold over 200 babies in 10 years. Jennifer's trial revealed everything. Our first baby, sold for $35,000 in 2023, was living in Maine. The adoptive parents had been told the mother was a teenage drug addict. They were devastated to learn they'd bought a stolen child. Legal battles continue over custody. I may have 2 sons to raise alone. She got 15 years federal time. At sentencing, she blamed me. Side-eyed pushed her to IVF, created the debt, drove her to desperation. The judge reminded her that millions of couples face fertility struggles without selling their children. You had choices, Mrs. Harrison. You chose greed over motherhood. I'm raising James alone now. The FBI helped me. Access resources for single parents, therapy for the trauma. Teaching salary doesn't go far, but we manage. The IVF debt feels lighter than the weight of almost losing him. Every night when I rock him to sleep, I remember that hospital room, those buyers with their car seat, how close we came. The investigation revealed the horrifying scope of the operation. Patricia's network specifically targeted couples with IVF debt. They had scouts in fertility clinics, financial counselors who'd refer desperate patients. The pitch was always the same. Give your baby a better life while solving your money problems. They made it sound noble. Buyers were carefully vetted, not for child safety, but for wealth and desperation. Couples who'd failed adoption screenings for age, health, or background checks. People willing to pay premium prices for babies they couldn't get legally. Some knew they were buying children. Others believed they were paying for expedited private adoption. The babies went everywhere. Falsified birth certificates, mothers who vanished after delivery, fathers who never knew they had children. 200 families destroyed for profit. Some children recovered and returned. Others lost in legal limbo. All because people like Patricia saw desperation as opportunity. My recordings helped convict 12 people directly, led to 30 more arrests as the network unraveled. Agents said I'd gathered better evidence than most professionals. Desperation makes you thorough. When someone's stealing your child, you don't miss details. It's been 6 months since James's birth. He's crawling now, laughing, babbling dada when he sees me. Normal baby milestones that almost happened in another state, with other parents. Jennifer writes from prison sometimes, apologizes, claims she's getting therapy, wants to be part of his life when she's released. I don't respond. The first baby, our 2023 child, is a complicated situation. His name is Matthew. The family who bought him love him deeply, raised him. Well, they're victims too. Courts are deciding, but I've met them. Good people who thought they were adopting legally. Maybe some arrangement where Matthew knows both families. Maybe not. Time will tell. I still teach high school. Same classroom, same Shakespeare, different perspective. When we read about betrayal, family, desperation, I understand differently. My students don't know their teacher survived something from a crime documentary, that their essays are graded by someone who saved a life with hidden cameras and recorded calls. Dating isn't on my radar. Trust issues aside, I'm focused on James, on making sure he knows he was wanted, fought for, protected. Someday, I'll explain why Mommy isn't around. For now, we're building our own family. Teacher's salary stretches further, without Jennifer's shopping. Habits. We're okay. My name is Bradley Harrison. I discovered my pregnant wife had sold our unborn son for $50,000 to a black market adoption ring. She'd done it before with our first child. Told me it was a miscarriage. This time, I caught her. Recorded everything. Worked with the FBI to bring down a network that had sold 200 babies over 10 years. The evidence I gathered sent 17 people to federal prison, including my wife. She got 15 years. I got my son. Some would say I betrayed Jennifer by recording her, working with federal agents, letting her believe her plan was working. I say she betrayed our family the moment she put a price tag on our children, to anyone. Facing similar situations, document everything. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And remember, children aren't merchandise. They're not solutions to financial problems. They're human beings who deserve parents who see them as priceless. James is sleeping in his crib as I finish this story. Safe, loved, exactly where he belongs. His mother saw him as worth $50,000. I see him as worth everything I went through to keep him. The FBI calls occasionally, updating me on related cases. Apparently, our story helped other fathers save their children. Good. Every baby saved is justice for the ones we see. OULDN, single quotes, T. Jennifer will be released when James is 15. Old enough to understand, young enough to need protection. We'll handle that when it comes. For now, we're healing, growing, living the life she tried to sell. Every laugh, every milestone, every sleepless night is a victory over the woman who carried him for 9 months, but never saw him as anything more than currency. That's my story. A teacher who discovered his wife was trafficking their baby and chose justice over silence. Would I do it again? Every time. My son is free because I refuse to let him become merchandise. That's what fathers do. We protect, even from the mothers who would sell them.